Hi everybody, Ellen here. Today I come to you guys with my December TBR, and this TBR is a little bit bigger than they have been the last few months at least, because I really want to freaking finish some more series before the year's over, because I've been doing very poorly at that, and that was one of my goals for the year. And so I have a shitload of duologies and trilogies and stuff that I want to finish, and the ones I'm going to talk about today is not even all of the ones I want to finish, so I just show some of them to show you guys, but I'm going to try to do all of them, like all of them, and I have so many starting the series. But enough with the babble, let's just talk about some books. So the first trilogy I want to finish is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. So we have The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages, which is I got pretty much from my friend Jamie, and she freaking loved Brandon Sanderson, so I really do feel like this is a very important goal for 2017. And I did start reading Final Empire, and I'm on page 13, but I was kind of in a reading slump when I started reading this, so I had to put it down for a while to read something a little bit more, you know, something easier and shorter, sort of, easier to get through. But I really do want to continue on with it, and it's so freaking hard to describe what this series is about. But these people called Ska, they live in slavery, and they have been doing so for 1,000 years. And then there's this ruler who's like really evil and has a shitload of power. And then there's also, people can like ingest some kind of metal thingy, and they get powers because of that. And that's pretty much all I know, but at the same time, I don't really think I need to know anymore, because these books look freaking beautiful, and I need to have all of them because of it. So this is one of the series I'm going to try to finish, which is maybe not the smartest since I'm 13 pages into the first book, so we'll see how it goes. And then we have A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, which is the second book in Darker Shade of Magic series, and I have actually ordered book 3, but it isn't in yet, but this is what the cover looks like. And so I have 2 books left in this trilogy. I really love the first book, and it's about a lot of different kind of magic, really, because there's like 4 different Londons. So there's like Red London, Black London, Grey London, and White London. Not really in that order, but and there's a different amount of magic in these different places. And we meet Cal, and he's one of the few people who can still travel through like from one London to the next one, because not a lot of people can do that, and he gets into a shitload of trouble. And I don't really want to say any more than that, because we have Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, which is the 3rd book in the Gushaverse, and I have read the 2 first books, so it's only 1 book left, and I will be reading this one with Jamie, and she's already read them before, but she is rereading them with me, which is very nice. And so far we really love these books, so I'm really hoping we'll be able to finish this one as well, because that would mean another finished trilogy, and it's only 1 book left, so I mean, we gotta do it. And the first book is about Alina, and she finds out that she is a Grisha, and the Grisha there's a lot of different kind of Grishas, but they can have different kind of powers, and she finds out that she has this really desirable power she didn't know about before, and there's a lot of people who wants to take advantage of that and want to use her sort of as a weapon, and she doesn't want to do that, so a lot of shit happens. So I'm really interested in seeing what happens in book 3. And then we have The Winner's Crime and The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rakowski, and this is book 2 and 3 in the trilogy called The Winner's Curse. That's the name. Wow, struggles. But yeah, I really do want to finish this trilogy as well. I really like the first book, and the first book was really quick read, so I'm hoping this will be too. And this one is about Kestrel, and her dad is pretty much giving her a ultimatum. Either she joins the military or she gets married, and she doesn't really want to do either of those 2, because she just wants to commit to her music, and she really likes to play the piano and everything like that. But one day she actually ends up buying a slave, and she buys him for a ridiculous amount of money, and it's sort of the talk of the town, really. And she and the slave actually falls in love with each other, and that obviously is problematic. Shit goes down, which is pretty much my summary to every single book, but oh well. And then we have a trilogy I haven't actually started because I got majorly spoiled for the first book, so I didn't end up picking it up right away. But now I have accumulated the entire trilogy just for the purpose of finishing it in December. And the series is made up by The Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal, and struggles, The Beauty of Darkness. And I mean, they don't look that thick, so I mean, maybe I'll be able to finish them. But this is the series called The Remnant Chronicles. I've heard really great things about these books, so I'm so looking forward to actually reading them. And this one, you meet Princess Leia, and her dad has promised her way to a prince from another kingdom, you know, to make an alliance. And she does not want to get married. She's 17 years old. She wants to, you know, decide over herself, and she runs away. And her father ends up sending the prince she was supposed to marry, and also an assassin after her. And as a reader, you don't know who's the prince and who's the assassin, so that's kind of the dilemma of the book, and you know, trying to figure out who's who. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. But I like the premise. I've never read anything like it, so I hope I will like them. And you know, I have 3 books to read, so better get on that. And then we have some gorgeous freaking books. So we have, I want to say that this is the second one and this is the third one. I think that's correct. But this is 10,000 Skies Above You, and this one is A Million Worlds with You. So this is a trilogy called Firebird, written by Claudia Gray. I did read the first one and I freaking loved it. It was really, really cool. And now I want to finish the books. And also, these books are freaking gorgeous. Do you see those covers? So the first book is about, what's her name, Margaret. And her parents are these sorts of inventors, really. So they created this thing called a Firebird. And with that one, you can travel through different dimensions, really. So as a person, I would exist in several different dimensions, but I'm not aware of the other ones. But you would be living completely different lives, and the world would look really different. And that's what they created. And when her father is murdered, Margaret is, you know, she's trying to catch the bad guy that actually did it, and he uses this Firebird and go away to some other dimension, and Margaret follows him. So it's sort of a chase through different dimensions, and it's so freaking cool. And I love the first book, so I'm going to finish the trilogy, so I'm going to try to do that. And we have the, what's the trilogy called? Daughter of Smoke and Bone, is that the name? But I have them in Swedish, and this is Mörk Ängel, Blod och Stjärnstoft, and Gudar och Monster. And these are all written by Laini Taylor. I've heard really great things about them. I did read Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor a couple of months ago. I loved it. It was so cool. I really like her writing style because it's a little bit different from what I've read before. So I do want to read these books. And her books are always really, really hard to summarize. So I can't really do that. But we meet Caro, and she likes to write, you know, make pictures of different monsters. Some might exist, some may not. And she can speak a lot of different languages. Not all of them are human. And she has naturally blue hair, which sounds really cool. But she doesn't really know who she is or where she comes from and everything like that. And that's something that really bugs her. And she wants to figure out who she is and where she comes from, pretty much. And then we meet Akiva, and she's being chased by some people, and she ends up in this fight between angels and demons. So it sounds really cool. I really do want to read them, and I'm hoping to be able to do that in December. But I feel like my TBR is kind of massive and very ambitious, because I want to finish some review books before the year's over as well. And I don't know when I'm supposed to have the time, because I have a school until December 21st, so I have a shitload of things to do in school too. But yeah, 3 different series left, and yeah, it's a massive TBR. But some of the books I want to finish is the Magnus Chase books by Rick Riordan, and if you followed my channel, you may know that I freaking love Rick Riordan. So this series is made up by the gods of Magnus Chase and the gods of Asgard. This series is called The Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, and the first book is called The Sword of Summer, the second one is called The Hammer of Thor, and the third one is The Ship of the Dead. And I want to read these books because it's about Norse mythology, and we meet Magnus Chase, and he's actually living in the street in the first book, and then he finds out that one of his parents, I don't know if it's his mom or dad, actually a Norse god, and you know, then he stumbles upon a lot of gods and monsters and shit like that, like all of Rick Riordan's books, but I freaking love Rick Riordan, so I want to read these, and also, how can you not want to read these books, because they look freaking gorgeous! And then we have Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab, and this is the second book in the duology called Something Verity, I don't remember the entire name, but this is the sequel and the last book, and this first book is called This Savage Song, and I really like that book. I read it so quickly, and I've actually started to read this. I'm on page 9 but yeah, I really want to continue on with this story because it's about monsters and people who sort of hunt monsters. So we meet Kate, and her father is sort of this big guy really, and he is sort of, you know, the ruler of this town, and he promises protection against the monsters, you know, in exchange for money pretty much. And then we have August. He is a monster, and he lives sort of on the monster part of town, and there's this very fragile truce between these two camps really, and some people doesn't want a truce anymore, some people want war. So it's really fun to read from the two different perspectives, and these two people become friends, and there's no freaking romance in the first book, and I'm so happy about that, and I love their friendship, and I just want to finish this book because I love this duology so far. The last book is A Court of Winds and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, and this one is really big. I actually pretty much read her books quite quickly, even though they're really thick, because I just get so wrapped up in the world and I just want to know what the hell's going to happen. But I've started this one, and I'm on page 33. And I mean, in the first book we meet Feyre, and she is living with her family in this really small cottage, and they're really poor, and they don't really have food on their table and everything like that. So she goes out into the forest to try to fix some food, and she ends up killing this wolf who turns out not to be a wolf but an actual fae who is sort of in a wolf disguise. And it's a very fragile truce between the humans and the fae community, so she has to go to the fae community and sort of be their prisoner because she made this horrible crime, I think. So yeah, that's pretty much what the first book about. I had some troubles with the first book because Feyre was annoying me like hell, but then in the second book it got a lot better, and I really liked it. So I have kind of high hopes for this one. So those are all the books I'm going to try to read in the month of December, and it's crazy many. I don't even know how many it is. I'm going to count. It's 21 books. And my record of amount of books read in a month was in October, and that was 23. And now I have 21 books, and a lot of them are quite thick, so I don't think it's gonna happen. But that does not mean I'm not going to try, because I really want to finish some series because, you know, statistics. So, yeah. But if you like this video, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the little link button down below, and don't forget to click the little bell icon so that you are 100% sure that you get a notification for when I upload new videos. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope we see each other next time. Bye!